I've done something wrong and someone needs to ring a plumber. Hello everyone and welcome back to another week of destroying a house, hopefully improving a house, making it better. And you're actually seeing me a little bit sooner than I'd thought. Like, look at this echo. Can you hear this echo? So a lot of things have happened. The full rewire is done. However, the reason you're seeing us so soon is the rewire can't be fully completed until this part of the kitchen I need to rip out today.
Oh dear.
And if we look at one side, I'll show you this. The previous homeowner, for some reason, attached this weird little radiator to like the side of the cabinet, and it's right next to the door, and it just doesn't make any sense. So my idea for the kitchen is to pull this entire thing out. I need to somehow learn today to disconnect and remove a radiator, which I'm shitting myself about because I have no idea how to do that. I have watched some videos, but there's a good chance I might flood the entire place. And then my plan is to get a plumber, a professional plumber, to plumb a radiator on that wall. We're going to have a tall fridge freezer here, and then we're going to have a gas stove fitted in here. That's the plan, that's my vision, that's what I want. I've explained this about 40 times to various different workmen about what I want and what the place is going to look like and my kind of vision. And for some reason, people either don't listen, which to be fair, that's what they don't do, they just don't listen. Or maybe I don't explain myself well enough, but my ideas aren't that grand. They're very basic ideas, so I don't understand why it's so confusing to so many people. Even the bathroom, I had the bathroom people on the phone the other day because they couldn't figure out what I was talking about. And it's basic, it's very simple what I want. And I wouldn't care if I'm getting this all done for like dead cheap and stuff and they're coming over and doing me a favour or whatever, but they're not. I'm paying them a fair bit of money and I expect them to do a decent job. I don't think that's hard to ask, is it?
I can't tell if you're angry or not.
I'm not. I'm totally not angry.
But since you saw us last, obviously you can hear the echo in this room. I've been removing even more wallpaper, obviously. I've also been removing carpets. I've been removing even more wallpaper, and I've been removing even more carpets. So all that's been happening, as well as obviously the rewire. The damp proofing, I wanted to come back to this and the damp proofing be done. That's not done yet. I've got them booked in 2 or 3 days from now, and then that should hopefully get fixed. But today's mission is get rid of this entire thing and disconnect this little tiny radiator and try not to flood the place. Wish me luck. So weirdly enough, I feel like I know what I'm doing to get this off and disconnected from the rest of the supply. However, something like this is massively out of my comfort zone. I always said I would never touch gas, electric or water. They're the things that I don't feel confident with at all and would much prefer a professional to do it. However, this little radiator, it's holding us up, and also I need practice taking a radiator off because all the other radiators in the house have obviously wallpaper behind them, and I need to take them off to get the wallpaper off. So this is going to give us some practice. I just don't want to flood the place. That's the only thing I'm worried about, is flooding the place. I know what I'm like. I really know what I'm like. This is the time where I can't be me. I have to be someone else. I have to be a professional plumber. Also, all my fancy lights are in now. I'll show you them a little bit later. Right, so tools I'm going to need is a collapsible bag to catch any water. I'm going to put some gloves on. I bought some new gloves because my other gloves got ripped to shreds. I forgot a radiator bleed key. I did order one, but I don't know what I've done with it, but a pair of pliers will be fine. I know how to bleed a radiator. I've done that many times before, so that doesn't worry us. I bought one of these. A wrench? I think it's a wrench. Something. And I also bought one of these things, which again just looks like a wrench as well. And then I also bought these things, which are like lots of different sizes, of like little caps that you put on the ends of the pipes just to stop any water coming out, even when the valves are going to be turned off. By the way, I'm talking about this as if I know what I'm doing. I've watched several videos and I have a good idea, but I'm not an expert at all. So if you're watching this wanting to know how to change a radiator, please go watch someone else because this is the wrong video.
Correct.
So I've got 2 valves on either side. Apparently I'm supposed to have like a thermostatic one, but I don't know whether this one is that. I'll turn it all the way to nothing. And I think that's done. I think that's now stopped water coming in. I'll double check the video because I'm not confident. Then I also have one here, which basically it looks like the same. It's a very old radiator clearly, so I have no idea what it is. But this one, it's got like a little pin on it and you just twist it until it locks. And apparently you're supposed to do it so many turns and memorize it. So when you put the new radiator on or the old radiator back, you do that many twists again to maintain the same amount of pressure in the system. But because I'm removing this radiator, it doesn't really matter, it's not going back on.
The lock shield valve needs to be fully closed off as well as the TRV.
Right, so he's spinning it that way, to the right hand side to close it off. Okay, hopefully this is installed the right way. Righty tighty. I don't know whether you can see what I'm doing, but I really have to concentrate, so I'm not going to even bring you in closer, I'm sorry. I'm just twizzling a spanner around like a little thing that's poking out the radiator, and I'm assuming I'm tightening it up so that water stops coming out of the pipe. I'm assuming it eventually stops. Oh, there. So that doesn't move anymore. Let's just triple check. Right, that absolutely doesn't move anymore. Okay. Righty tighty. Righty tighty. Honestly, I have to really concentrate. Righty tighty. Righty tighty. Righty tighty. Righty tighty. Okay, good. Because I do not want to take these bolts off and then water start pouring out and me panic. Because I will panic. Oh my God! Okay, that wasn't that scary. That wasn't that hard. Which is alarming, which is so alarming. So I think I'm ready to disconnect it now, but I think I need to bleed the radiator.
That means that the valves are not holding and there's water still coming from the rest of the heating system.
Oh, okay, so that's great. So before I take these bits off, whilst I'm taking the pressure out of the radiator, if water just keeps coming, that means it's not done properly. So at least that gives us a good indication. Fab. I'm thirsty. It's stressing us out. By the way, I will say, if I manage to do this successfully, this is going to be the highlight of my year. I am going to be so ridiculously proud of myself because you have no idea how out of my comfortness I am at the minute. I tell you what, I'll bring you in close for the bleeding part. Because that bit doesn't scare us at all. I can get my pliers in, and if that keeps going, then I've done it wrong. Water is still coming. How much water is going to come out of here? Well, that's it. There's no more water coming out. I thought radiators held way more water than they actually do. They hold absolutely nothing. It smells a little bit though. I don't know whether that's just this kitchen. Wait there though, because there's another one on here. I just want to check that one, because it's a double-sided radiator. Alright, well, it's disconnected because no more water's coming out. There's absolutely 1000% no more water coming out of it. Oh my God, look at me. I think I've actually disconnected a radiator. Okay, great.
Poor thing, bless her heart.
By the way, if you're wanting to know who it is, I'm watching the DIY guy and he's very informative. I feel comforted by him. I feel like he knows his shit, you know what I mean?
Take a look here. This is the nut connecting the valve to the radiator. So I'm going to undo that nut now. You can...
Right, so there is more water in the radiator. Okay, that's fine. This is a tiny radiator. I think this is really good practice, you know, because it's not an intimidating radiator, is it? Right, my little collapsible bucket underneath. This holds on to this, so I'm not putting too much pressure onto this or something, I don't know. And then this will go onto here and disconnect this. Right, this is the moment of truth, whether I've actually isolated the radiator or not. It's on very tight. Oh, I'm really worried. I can't seem to get that off, you know. Tell you what, I might try the other side. I feel like I'm going to end up snapping this pipe, and that is 1000% not what I want to do. Because these pipes look old. I can't seem to get it off. Oh no, there's water dripping out. Where's that coming from though? I don't think that's coming out of the place I want it to come out of. Oh, I don't like this at all. Right, I think I'm just gonna have to go for it, you know. Is there an emergency plumber on hand? Oh, I've done it. I think I've done it. I've loosened it. Right, I've loosened it. I finally loosened it. That felt right. There's water coming out, guys. I'm just gonna wait until the radiator's drained. If too much water comes out, then I know I've done something wrong and someone needs to ring a plumber. Help is on the way! I swear to God, I'm doing so many things in this house that I never dreamed I would ever do. It's really pushing us to my limit. Just taking my time, I'm just chilling, I'm watching the water come out. This is not the time for impatient ant to take over. It's not the time at all. To be fair, throughout this entire thing is not the time for impatient ant to take over anything. Yummy radiator water. In the day, if this hadn't been disconnected, it would be like flying out, wouldn't it? Because it's like a pressurized system, and I'd like water, you know? So I think I have done it properly. Oh, I can stop stressing now. I feel like I can literally breathe. I feel like I've been holding my breath this entire time. That wasn't actually that hard, you know? I know I'm not fully done yet, but that wasn't that hard. Okay, so that side's fully disconnected. Now I need to do the same on the other side. And surely, because obviously the radiator's drained now, no more water can come out of the other side. Possibly like a little bit, but not a lot. I again feel like I'm bending the pipe. Whoever's attached these stupid nuts have done a really ridiculously good job, and I can't get them off. I just don't want to snap the pipe. Oh, there's water coming out. Where's the water coming out of? This one, to loosen it, you go up, you don't go towards you. Why did they reverse it for? Just make sure that's not leaking. Alright, there we go. I think I've taken the radiator off. I think I've disconnected it. Oh. Everyone, I have just successfully disconnected a radiator. I've never ever done that in my entire life. That's still leaking a little bit, so I'm worried about that. Tell you what, I think I might have broken that pipe because it's leaking and I don't feel confident. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to ring an emergency plumber just in case, because that's just going to leak and leak, I know it is. That one's fine, I did that one okay I think, but I'm just really worried about that one because I don't want to leave it and go away and come back to a flooded house because I just don't trust myself at all. So bear with us, I'm going to try and find a plumber. Okay, so I've rang an emergency plumber. I know, I'm telling you, I'm not risking it. And they're gonna be here within the next 4 hours. And it's a £90 call-out charge, and then however much to fix the work. The lady on the phone even said, if it starts pouring out, give us a ring and I'll move you up the list. That would have gone fine if that pipe wasn't so thin and pissy. It's a thin and pissy pipe, and the stupid nut went the wrong way. I was pulling it the way that one went. That's the only mistake I made. I've learned a lot doing this, mind, and I feel confident I can do the others.
You shouldn't.
And technically, I haven't flooded the place just yet, so I'm still calling this a win, alright? Anyway, I think I might continue to rip this out while I wait for the plumber. I'm still chuffed I took this off though. Proper proud of myself, you know. Okay, so while the place fills up with water, I'm going to try and take this off, and the problem is, there's a fridge here. That's my lunch for later. And there's also like an electric stovetop there. So now I'm pissing around with electrics. Some screws at the back, and other than that, I have no idea how they've actually fitted this. I don't know. Maybe I'll just use my hammer and chisel. That's like my favourite tool, isn't it? Ugh, it's so sticky under here. Well, if this is off, I can just cut the cord, can't I? I'm 100% sure it's turned off. Where the hell's this plugged in at then? That's on for that. I don't know what where do you go? Where does that go? Them pipes, them water pipes go up there. Houses are so confusing. That'll be the fridge, that one. I'm sure it is. Yeah. That's the fridge. Or are you wired via this? Whirlpool, they're both Whirlpool. I bet that's what it is, you know. I think I'm just going to take a hammer and chisel everything. The problem is as well, I don't want to rip this out because the pipes are under there. And if I rip this entire thing out and then catch the pipe, I'm f***ed. This is a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. Because I do plan on keeping the other side of the kitchen. Obviously I'll paint it and fix it and do something with it. And you might be asking why you're not buying a new kitchen. Why don't you just rip the entire thing out and get a new one? I can't afford a new kitchen, okay? My budget did not allow for it. This is a job I was trying to leave last because I wasn't looking forward to it. And it's just causing us problems. I knew it was going to cause us problems. I could just tell. But I suppose if we get it out of the way with today, then that's one thing off my mind, because it has been on my mind for quite a while. And at least I've had practice at taking a radiator off the wall, so that's good. I can't pull the entire thing out yet because the pipes wrap around the cupboard, so I'm going to need to like drill around them or wait for the plumber to get here. I could take this worktop off though. The thing is, I've had the rewire done. I think they've rewired the oven into it, thinking I want to keep the oven, even though I've told them a million times I don't want to keep the oven. So I don't understand why they've done this for. It doesn't make any sense. You've just wasted your time. I still don't know where the hell this one goes. Where's the screwdriver at? Where have I put it? I just had it a second ago. Where are you? Where's the screwdriver? Did I put the oven on top of it? Oh, there it is. Unscrew this one, I think. It's turned off. Yes. Don't understand why they've wired it in for. Why did you wire the oven in for? It's such a waste of bloody time. Take this off and I'm going to tape it, just so people know not to use it or turn it on or anything. I feel like someone who comes around my house could easily electrocute themselves. Because before we go anywhere, what I told them to do is I wanted a plug here for my refrigerator, which I've got a plug on the wall there, and a plug for my oven. So what's all this? What's all this for? Like, this isn't a good sign, is it? I've got like live wires and running water. It doesn't take a genius to understand that water and electricity don't mix, do they? I should have really turned all this off at the fuse box, shouldn't I?
Yes.
Whatever you see me doing in this whole series, don't copy. Please do not copy us, because I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, so the emergency plumbers have been, and that's cost me over £300, which is just great. £300 I wasn't planning on spending today, so that's fun. And anyway, they've managed to fix the leaks that I was having and capped it all off. So if we look down, now the radiator's fully gone and the leaks stopped and the pipes are capped under there somewhere. And also, it's been kind of like a silver lining thing, because this plumber person, I need some more work doing in the kitchen. So I'm wanting a radiator there, a gas stove there, etc. And it needs some like gas work and stuff. And they've given me their contact card. I've got a quote for that, and I think it's been relatively reasonable, so I think I'll go with them and get that done at some point. Anyway, I'm gonna have some lunch because I'm starving. I've turned the fridge off too. There's loads of water in the fridge, so that I think needs to go. And I think the rest of the day is gonna be attempting to finally rip out all of this. I'm getting there. I'm making progress. It's taken us ages. And the pipes go within the cabinet, so I'm just hoping I don't snag them and cause another flood, because I can't afford another 300 odd quid. I really can't. So I have finally completed the job that was just going to be my least favourite job ever. I've finally ripped this side of the kitchen out. By the way, if the plumber who fitted this radiator is still alive, I hope you're not working, and I hope you're not going anywhere near pipes anymore, because for some reason, and I don't understand why, you weaved pipes within the cabinets. So I've had to saw the cabinets around the pipes in order to get the pipes out without breaking them again. And it's taken us ages, it's taken us all day. And don't worry, I've turned the fuse box off because there are now live wires here. There are wires and pipes and all sorts of shit happening. Look, I've done all of that today, ripped the entire thing out. I'm quite pleased with myself. And also what I thought was gas pipes, these are just water pipes covered up. I don't know what to do with that, because for me it just doesn't seem right. I don't know, I find it a bit irritating. I don't have the budget to chase pipes into walls. But anyway, I've got the damp people coming on Thursday. I'm not going to stop the video here, but when you see us next time, my plan is to have the entire chimney breast fully done, all the damp work done, all the rewiring finally finished. I'm going to get them to come back and do that. I don't know about the plumbing yet. I don't know whether I'm up to that stage yet. When you see me in this next part of this video, lots more will have happened, I think. I hope it better have. And I swear to God, if I've spent more surprise money that I don't have, I'm not going to be happy. Just take me back to wallpaper, and to be fair, the upstairs still needs stripping of wallpaper, as does the hallway. Also as well, right, I've been watching like a couple of renovation people online, and they're doing the TikToks and the YouTubes and stuff. One of their renovations was, oh, I'm going to pull the fire out, and the fireplace was just like glued on, so it was dead easy. And then they were like, oh, and I'm going to bring my couch in. Like, that's not a renovation. Literally just pulling your fireplace off and then just bringing the couch in. You're not stripping walls, you're not rewiring, you're not doing anything. I feel like this house, this has been like a proper refurb, even though I'm not done yet. I have got nice nice lights though. I will show you my lights at some point. It's weird though, it's a very unusual contrast to have lovely lights and then everything else looks like an absolute shithole. I feel like I've done things in a very weird way. I feel like I've done it upside down and back to front, but are we surprised? Not at all. So it's a brand new day in the house and a few things have happened and progressed and stuff. So if we look behind us, the chimney breast has now been fully plastered over and I think they've done a very good job. And also, the damp proofing down there, that's fully done now. And I finally got some good news as well when the damp people came over. The other bits of damp that I thought needed addressing apparently don't. Their detector, which is better than mine, because mine's just a cheap piece of shit off Amazon, said that it was damp and it wasn't actually damp, so it doesn't really matter too much. And some of the bits that are damp, fine, it's just because obviously I'm not living in it and it needs to like warm up and stuff. I've had a bit of a busy day this morning, so I've been sealing this kind of area, this living room area, because I'm planning on filling some holes today and potentially sanding some bits down and trying to get the walls looking a bit better. And then I also decided to start sealing the kitchen too, ready to try and tackle their walls and get them sorted, because I've got a few workmen that need to come and finish some other bits there. And as I was sealing that wall, I realised that the plaster had fully blown and it was pointless sealing it, so I just decided to take all the plaster off because it was just an absolute and utter waste of time. So I wasn't planning on that, but that's fine. It just, you know, the house likes to throw us a curveball. I've had no more floods, although I do need to take all the other radiators off to get the wallpaper off behind the radiators, but I'm not ready for that yet. I'm gonna wait. And I think also today I might try and get the ceiling a little bit smoother as well. So I'm just gonna kind of chip away at it and everything. And I know some people would be like, why don't you just employ a plasterer, take the entire thing back to brick, get the whole place replastered? I can't afford to do that. And also, the walls aren't actually that bad. I know they look awful, but these walls, they're pretty... These are like solid walls, they're decent. They just need like a little bit of filler, nice sanding down and smoothing it out. And I think they'll be as good as new, to be fair. I'm also not too picky if my walls are like perfectly smooth. You know how people really need like a mega smooth wall? I'm not that arsed. If there's like a bump here and there, I don't particularly care. Also, my dad's been round and taken some of my rubbish. He's taken the old fridge, the old oven and stuff, so that's good. Still have a pile of shit that I need to take to the tip, obviously. It just never stops. And then also I have some people coming to deliver a fridge freezer for us today, so I can actually store my lunch while I'm here doing my bits and bobs. I've got loads left to do upstairs, you know. I'm just ignoring upstairs at the moment. I want to try and focus on this bit first, and then I might try and start tackling the rest. I feel like I'm doing too much at once. Oh, another thing I did as well is in the kitchen here. These pipes were boxed in, and the boxing in was really shit, and it looked awful. But then I was thinking, you know what? I don't mind the pipes being bare. I might make a feature of just bare pipes. I think they look quite interesting. The oven in the fridge is going to go there anyway, so it's going to hide most of it. The electricians really need to come back though and sort their shit out. They've left the place a mess. I need to email them or ring. Well, I've emailed them actually. They need to reply to my email or, you know, ring us or something. This is the problem as well when you're doing things on your own. You're constantly chasing people up to like, you know, do stuff. I'm paying you to do these things. Like, surely you want to like get them done and earn some money? I don't know. Anyway, I'm not going to dilly-dally or chat too much because I've got a shitload of work to do today. So I'm going to get busy filling and I'll check in with you in a little bit. So after a few hours of hard work, it's time for my lunch. Oh my god, yes. This food will be warm because I have no fridge freezer anymore. And it's chicken, so that's a bit questionable. And to be fair, I think things are coming along in the living room. I didn't realise how much filler I'm going to need. I'm going to need a lot of filler. In fact, this whole house is just going to need filling. There's just so many cracks and holes, and as you go on you realise there's just more than you think. It looks a bit shit at the minute, but I'm thinking once it's sanded, once it's all primed, and it just all looks even, that'll make us kind of feel a bit better. If I get one room done, or at least one room with some decent kind of walls, then at least I've got something to work towards. I'm pretty sure my fridge freezer's just arrived. I swear to God, just when I'm having lunch. Why? Al salam, it's fine, I can eat. I think the only room that's kind of stressing us out a little bit is the kitchen. The kitchen, I'm just like, I don't know what's happening really. I'm just wondering with like certain things, does it need to be perfect? I don't know whether houses need to be perfect or look perfect. I think my walls are just going to look a bit shit. Well, they're going to look better than what they look like now. They look an absolute mess at the minute, so anything from here on out is an improvement, isn't it? So I'm not going to stress out about it. At the end of the day, I've got like a month until the bathroom's going to start to get fitted and stuff. So I've got a month to work on like everything I need to work on, because as soon as the bathroom's fitted, and I'm assuming it's going to take them like 2 weeks or something to do, then that's when I kind of want to be moving in. Or at least close to moving in. Anyway, I'm going to finish my delicious warm chicken wrap. Afterwards, I guess I'll just do some more filling, because there's so much filling. You know, as well, when I was using the expandable foam in the kitchen, the ceiling in the kitchen, it feels like it could just float away. It doesn't feel like it's fixed to anything, but I'm not going to worry about it. I can't be taking ceilings down. That's not in the budget at all. 'Tis me again. I've spent hours, actually I don't even know what time it is, but I've spent hours filling this room, like a lot of hours, so many hours. And as I was going, I was like, you know what? It's not looking great, like, what am I doing? Shit at it, someone sent help. However, as I've gone on, I've actually, I don't know, I feel like I'm quite good at this. Am I being delusional? Am I being weird? But maybe I should have picked like a trade or something. Maybe I'm wasted doing what I'm doing, because I feel like I've done a very good job. So I'll show you this problematic spot that I was having. So can you remember up here, where we had like all those pipes, and there was even a hole in the ceiling, and there's a hole in the wall? Look at that now. I think that looks alright, you know. I think that looks really good. Obviously it needs sanding and stuff and priming and whatnot. And I have a feeling I'm going to have to do another layer because it was a very deep hole. And that was where I had like the expandable foam and stuff. I've done a really good job. And on this side too. Up there as well, that was a really problematic area because there were holes at the top. There was some missing plasterboard. And I've just done that. And you know what? At one point, I used my finger. I don't know, I just feel like I'm better at things than I think I'm at. Didn't make sense, did it? It's getting on now and I'm quite tired. But I'm not done yet because I want to test out, even though I'm not like fully done or anything, but I want to test out to see if I can get these knobbly little nibbles off the ceiling. And when I had the plasterers around the other day, they said what I can do is use like a really sharp scraper tool, scrape the bulk of them off, and then just sand over it instead of pissing around and trying to like plaster over it and blah blah blah. It's going to be a mess. I know it's probably quicker and easier doing it that way, but I just think I'll make an ass out of it, or it sounds easy, but I think it'll be really complex, and I think I would prefer to do the easier way in my mind, but it'll take us longer. I think that's what I need to do. But I'm going to do a little test first. Do you like my new lamp? Isn't that gorgeous? In fact, I haven't shown you my new lights, have I? Look at that, isn't that lovely? Once I've done this actually, I'll show you my fancy chandelier that I've bought. Tell you what, I'm going to grab my sander, give us 1 second. Okay, so that worked. It worked fine. However, that's going to kill us. That's going to really kill us doing the entire ceiling that way. It's going to take us days. Maybe I'm going to have to go over the top of the ceiling with something and just skim it and see how that goes. I've never done that before, so I don't know whether I'm very good at it, but at least I've tested it and I know that it's not the best idea. It'll be so much quicker to skim it though, I know it will. I'm going to show you my chandelier because that's a very exciting thing. And then I think after the chandelier I might try and tackle the kitchen before I go home. Are we ready for it? Are we ready for it? Oh my god, there it is. By the way, the amount of times I've nearly fallen down them stairs is unreal. I'm surprised I haven't killed myself. It's quite the contrast of obviously a very nice, elegant chandelier and the rest of the place looks like shit. And you've got that dodgy bit of wallpaper on the left-hand side that I couldn't reach to get off. But isn't that nice? If you do like it and you're wanting one yourself, not that I'm sponsored by any of these companies or anything that I mention in any of these videos, but you can get that in obviously that colour, which is like a brassy colour, or you can get it in a silver colour. You can get it on Dunelm. It's called like Wisteria or something. However, Dunelm, it's about £100 or £150 more expensive than this other site, which is called Moonlight Designs, something like that. And sometimes I think like a space just needs that little bit of like luxury. This is the only luxury I think I'm going to have in this house because I would never spend this amount of money on a light. I just can't wait till the rest of the house looks the same as the chandelier. Also, you haven't really seen much of the upstairs. Do you want to see this really suspicious part of the floor? So on the landing, there's like a random bit of MDF on the floor, and I'm I'm terrified to take it up because I don't know what's under there. I have a feeling there might be missing floorboards, and I just don't want to deal with that yet, quite frankly. Anyway, I think I'm going to stop it for this week's episode of Ant Demolishes a House. I don't even know what I'm calling the series. Ant's Home Renovation. And hopefully, next time I see you, I want to get the walls done. That's what I want to get. I want to get the walls done, the entire house. There's still wallpaper on the walls. I still haven't fully done that yet. I just don't have enough time. I genuinely don't have enough time. I did go in the loft the other day though. The loft's up there, and it wasn't that scary, but I couldn't figure out how to get the ladders down. Well, I could get them down, but I couldn't get them back up because the hinge, I think's broke on them or something like that. So that's another thing I need to do on my list of never-ending things that need to be done. But anyway, if you are enjoying this series so far, make sure to give it a thumbs up. I'll see you next week for hopefully more home progress. The thing is as well, I'm looking around at the state of the place. Someone will appreciate this house. When I like die or sell it or something or whatever, and someone else moves into this house, they'll appreciate the fact that someone spent so much time just literally making the walls right. That's all I'm doing at the moment. I'm sick of seeing walls. I'm sick of doing like the basic stuff. I can't wait. Honestly, I can't wait to get my hands on like coloured paint and start painting and decorating. That's what I'm excited about. This stuff is the like mega boring stuff. This is the stuff that no one likes. No one enjoys this. I've been selling a few things actually, some of my old like games and art books and stuff, so I've generated a little bit more money. So I'm hoping I'll have enough money to do what I want to do, unless the house surprises us with anything else, because it likes to do that. It likes to surprise us with things. I never know what's going to happen.